Hello folks, Nick Larock here. Thanks for tuning into my channel again. This weekend we have a Cort Jade 6N in the shop. The guitar has been standing in the corner for about a year collecting dust, so it came to me for a quick general service just to check everything's still fine and polishing of the frets. I hope you enjoy the short video, so let's head on over to the bench. I'm going to interrupt the service video because I want to talk about restringing acoustic guitars and the proper way to do it. I will also cut this section out and make it a video on its own. I've worked on quite a number of guitars where the bridge plate of the guitar is damaged due to incorrect string changes or string installation. This is the bridge, then we have the body or the top of the guitar, and then under the top there's a bridge plate that reinforces the guitar. When strings are installed in properly, I will insert a photo in this section. When strings are installed improperly in an acoustic guitar, they tend to damage the bridge plate. So in this video, or in this section of the service video, I want to talk about that, and I want to talk about how to properly install guitar strings. To help me, I'm going to use this old piece of string that I took out of the guitar. I'm going to use this little block with a little hole where a guitar string can fit through, and the bridge pin can also go through there. It's going to be a little awkward because it's small, but I'm going to try my best. What a lot of people do is let's do it like this. They put the string in the guitar. So let's imagine this is the bridge, the top of the guitar and the bridge plate. So what many people do is they put the string in, then they put the pin in, and then you've got this piece of string hanging here, and then they would pull on it or tune, and they'll pull on it like that. Now we all know that the string is made up of a bass string or acoustic guitar string, or your wound strings. They are made up of a core and wounds around the core. These wounds act as a serrated edge, almost like a saw. Actually, a bone saw is just this. And then what happens is you've got this sawing motion going, which damages the bridge plate. So the other thing that happens, they would put through the string, then put in the pin, and then as they pull up, this one won't do it because it's already bent, but as they pull up, the string hooks and pulls the pin out, and then you push it back and you pull the string or tune it and it pulls out again, and then you push back and it pulls out, and all the time you are doing this sawing through the wood. It also leads people to apply extra pressure down on the bridge pin, which then wears out the string holes or bridge pin holes in the bridge as well. I'm going to move the camera so I can show you what the bridge plate and bridge pins look like. Okay, those are the holes that come through the bridge, through the top and then through the bridge plate. That's a bit much. Okay, so those holes are all nice and round. The reason for that is this guitar has been coming to me ever since the owner bought it, and I've always installed the strings properly. Now I'm going to teach you how to install strings properly. The first thing I do is to take the string, clip it in a pair of pliers, just there where the winding starts. Let me just take another string. Okay. So I take it there, just where the winding starts, and I push it like that and bend it like that. Then where the winding stops, so about 1 to 1.5 centimeters, then I bend it again. Either that, or I got this nail in a piece of dowel, a 12mm dowel, hook the string around it, we hook the string on the nail and then turn it around the dowel like that, and then I've got a curve in it, in the string. So it will look something like that. Then I put the ball end in the hole like that. I will demonstrate it on the guitar in a bit. In the hole like that, I put the bridge pin against the ball like that, like this. And we want the string to run in the groove. So instead of putting the string through and then putting the pin in, we put the ball end in just like that, and we push it in with the pin, and you'll see that angle. As you're pushing it in and applying a bit of pressure away from the ball end, as you're pushing it in, it's a little bit awkward like this. Sorry. So as you're pushing it in like that, it goes in and then it clips out the bottom like that. So now so as we pull on the string now, it's not moving up and down, sawing through the wood. It's a bit awkward like this. You'll see it's a lot easier in the guitar. Let's maybe do it like this. So if we look from the bottom, we're pushing it through with the pin. And then it just clicks and like that, and then you push it through. Now you'll see that the string isn't coming out no matter what. And even though I'm pulling on it, when I release the pressure here, the pin just slides out. And I didn't have to force the pin in to keep it there because there's no string pulling up on it. Let me demonstrate this on the guitar. I'm going to demonstrate the restringing with the bass strings. They are the most notorious for these problems. Okay, so like I showed you earlier, this is a fresh string now. Just over there. Now, a word of caution, don't go too high up and don't overbend it either. If you overdo it, the core on the thinner strings like the G string might break if you overdo it. So like that, just a easy focusing, seems like it, and then just lightly like that, a slight bend. Okay, now what I do is I put the ball end in there. Let me show it like this. I'm removing the saddle just so that you can see what's happening here. So I put the ball end in. Now I'm not putting it all the way through. I'm just putting it in there like that. Now I'm using the pin to push through on it while applying light pressure in the opposite, pulling lightly in the opposite direction and just lightly pushing in. And there I felt the ball end pop in, and now I can just push the pin in like that. And now there's no way that when we tune it, it's going to pop back up. Let me show you what happens on the inside. So I'm again going to put those two bends in. And there it pops. And now the pin just pushes by freely. And the string is loose. It's not forced in. And the pin is loose. It's not forced in either. And if we pull on it, it's not going anywhere. You see the golden one turns around as we turn the string. Now I'm going to install the other four, and I'll just show you that even though it's a lot of effort, after a while it doesn't take that long anymore. I like to install the strings at the bridge first when I'm doing a service. When I'm just doing a restring, I restring them one at a time. But I like to do it like this when I do a service, so that afterwards I can have a look on the inside of the guitar to make sure all of the ball ends are installed properly. And there we go. It wasn't that hard. That is what you want to see when you look at the bridge plate. Okay, let's move on to the headstock. Many people ask me how to fit the strings in the top here. There are many ways of tying the string at the top here. I want to say tying in quotes because I never really tie them. There are a few principles. There are basically two principles that are important. Firstly, we don't want the string to slip, and in order for that to happen we need to have a proper, again quotes, knot. The second thing is we don't want the strings to keep tightening when we tune it while we're playing, because then your string gets flat as you're playing and you can continue tuning. And the way to stop that is by not having too many wounds. So what I like to do, to push it through straight like this, then let me lift it up a little bit. Then I take the string at the nut and I pull it back one fret, and then over there I just make a little bend to keep it from slipping through like that. Then I start winding so that the string goes to the inside. So they're all going to turn it to the inside. So these three machine heads are going to turn anti-clockwise. These three machine heads are going to turn clockwise. So I turn. When this piece of string reaches this piece of string again, the string that's in my hand, the long one, I let that go over this loose piece, the end piece. So the end piece goes underneath like that. So this string is underneath now. The loose part is underneath. And I keep turning. Then for all the others, you should get to about 2.5 or 3 turns. For the bass it will be less. Then the end goes over. All the while keeping pressure in this direction on the string. Make sure not to hurt yourself with the string ends, so sometimes they just jump from something that was caught. So what I like to do is I like to bend it up over here so that it keeps turning freely. Then what I like to do is cut it off here and turn it over like this, so that while I'm working on the other strings I don't get caught on a string and hurt myself. Let me do the next one. Push it through, take it at the nut, pull it through one fret, start turning. Put that bend in there, start turning. So the first time this end goes over, and this is where I bend it upwards. Sorry. The end goes under. The string goes over. And then still applying pressure on the string in this way. Let me just show you the other way I like to do it, which is usually faster than the way I'm doing it now. After I've pulled back over here, I hold on to the end here, take this string and just flick it over. And that way you have that first wound that's on top. Then I bend this, and then all the other wounds will go underneath. So one wound on top, the others at the bottom, underneath. Because I do so many of these, I like to use an automatic screwdriver. For the unwound strings, because they tend to slip, I use a different technique. See if we can get a nice angle there. Okay. Because they don't have any wounds, they tend to slip. So what I do with these, go through, take it at the nut, pull it back one fret. And now what I do is I come back, bend it back to the inside, take the end underneath the string like that, then bend it back over the string, and that's all I do. Now when I start winding it, the string is going to pull back over the end and that tighten it like that. With this technique I don't go over under, they all go underneath. As I'm pulling back on itself, it should wind itself properly. Now remember to pull back on the string so that it is tight the whole time. This helps with lining up the wounds nicely underneath each other. And now I don't hurt myself on the strings. As you can see now, we have 2 wounds over here, 2.5 or 2.5, more or less 3. It's about 3 and 3. So they're all neatly wound, not crisscrossing over each other, and this helps with the tuning stability. That is the way I restring the guitar. After restringing it, I will tune it to pitch and stretch the strings. There's a bit more labor involved in doing it this way, but this is the proper way. It will help you with string tuning stability, as well as saving the breech plate of the guitar. For those of you who came only for the restring video, I hope you enjoyed it and learned something. For the rest of you, enjoy the rest of the service. That's the service of the Cort Jade 6, Cort Jade 6N. You will notice I did not do anything with the nut or the saddle. That's because the client just wanted the service because it's been standing for so long. The action still feels quite good. Usually what would happen is I would send the guitar back to the client, have them play it for a week and let the new setup settle, and then have them come back free of charge and adjust the action to their liking if it's not already good for them. If the client asked me to do a setup, that would have involved doing some work to the nut and the saddle. Thank you again for watching. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something. Not that it was supposed to be a tutorial, but I hope you enjoyed it. And until next time, cheers.